Finally feel that the van is coming together. You reach a point where you're like, oh God, this is so tedious, this is so annoying, this is so grunt worky, but it's all coming together and I'm starting to see walls, obviously. This wall is gonna be finished by tomorrow, and then I'm gonna start on the ceiling. This is interesting because I've been like racking my brain around trying to figure out the framing situation. I've done furring strips in the past, which you actually see behind me. I needed a second set of eyes because I was like, there's something better. And luckily, leased space from Mark at Nomadic Customs. So he came over and he looked at it and he's like, why don't you just do this, this, and this? That's exactly what I needed. What I'm gonna do now is way simpler. You use a piece of like a 2x2 down here like so, and you literally frame out that section. I was making it all too difficult. And for what? For what reason? It's just been nice to kind of listen to him, because I like knew that, but I don't know why I don't know. I'm stupid. I wasn't thinking. But regardless, I'm good now. The days are officially starting to run together. I have no idea what has been recorded, what I have done. We're gonna give you an update right now. My insulation was on its way. They sent me a second batch because something happened in transit with the shipping company. Luckily, I share space, or I lease space from Nomadic Customs, and he had some extra wool lying around. So I'm gonna use that wool. He's got some more, and when my wool gets here, whether it's 3 weeks, a month, whatever it is, I will then replenish his wool that he graciously gave me for the interim until my wool gets here. So you might see some framing up here. What I plan on doing, and I can show you, actually there's a piece of wood right here that is spanning across the entire van. Make sure that I am on the right plane. Actually going to be the height of my cabinets, or my galley. It's 28 inches in height, and that is also going to be the height of the top of the mattress. Bed is going to be 6 inches below that. I'm gonna have a 6-inch mattress is what I assume. This frame are all done out of 2x2s. That was big thanks to Mark. Panel will go like so up against them. Now, the vertical ones is actually the indentation of where the bed is. So this is gonna be all 1/4 inch all throughout the entire thing here. And hopefully you'll see the rest of that in this video. Wool in all these cavities. And then I will press the 1/4 inch up against that. Now, before I do any of that, I need to do some rough wiring as well. That's what that, I believe this is 16 gauge, because I need to run wires for my lights, because I'm gonna have indirect lighting in the ceiling, not like my last van, but indirect lighting in the ceiling. I need to run wiring for that. I need to run wiring for the bed area, and then 2 reading lights as well I will have up in here. All the other wiring is going to be through the cabinetry. So you guys will see in the rest of this video, hopefully, if I can get it all done, me putting in the insulation, stuffing it into all these crevices down here, stuffing it up into these things. Oh, I don't know if I talked about this. I don't think I did, so I'll tell you guys right now. So right here, there was like a bump out. It was non-structural, and it was in the way of having a flat wall. So my wall would come up and it was like there was a bump here. So there was one here, and one there. Randomly, I was kind of just sitting in my van one night, and somebody was like, dude, why don't you just cut them out? So I took an angle grinder and I literally cut these things out so the wall can fit flush there, and it made me feel a lot better. And then I just sprayed it with enamels and make sure it doesn't rust. Doing the van build, it's great. I'm having a great time. I really hope that I showed this window. If I did not show, again, I don't know where these videos are, what's going on, but if I didn't show this window being put in, I'm gonna put a time lapse of that while I'm talking about this right now. You know, a lot of you may be saying, Jarrod, that's not a stealth van because there's a window right there and I can see, you know, the panel up there and your roof vent. What people have to understand is that stealth living or stealth parking isn't what everybody thinks it is. Stealth parking is actually blending in with your surroundings, not being super like obvious and noticeable when you are stealth parking. When I say stealth parking, it's also parking on mostly city streets that you're trying to avoid the door knock. So really that's what stealth parking is. I'm avoiding the door knock. That is why this is a great hybrid vehicle between stealth living as well as let's go out camping. I intend to do a lot of speaking events and festivals and gatherings in the year 2022. I'm going to be taking something like this or my other one that I possibly do or probably do. I'm going to want to live out of this instead of booking hotels, which I have been doing all of 2021. That got really expensive. So doing something like this is a perfect hybrid vehicle. Let's go out camping, but also let's go and stealth park in a city, pull over on the side of the road and just sleep if I need to, or cook or do whatever I need to do. And that's what this van is perfect for, or going to be perfect for. If you haven't already, go like and subscribe to the channel. 2022 is going to be a big year coming up as well. I intend to do quite a bit. This video is going to be coming out on Sunday, and that also means that starting my podcast this week, and it's going to be mostly ranting and calling not actual people out, but calling things out that I have seen in the industries that I have, that I don't want to call myself an expert, but that I am knowledgeable in. Anyways, back to the van build. Here we go. I did not time lapse today, which really kind of stinks, but I wasn't very fully confident in showing this off or on the time lapse. It took me a few days to figure out. I have officially done framing and walls and built out on 3 different platforms or 3 different chassis, 1 being a ProMaster, 2 being a Sprinter, and 3 now a Ford Econoline. By far, the Ford Econoline is the hardest when it comes to putting in walls. There's a lot of angles, there's a lot of figuring stuff out, there's a lot of curves, and it just sucked, to say the least. I don't know how to put that delicately. It sucked. This part of the build is really good for me to stop and talk to you guys, because this wall is all pretty much done, as in framed, insulated, and now the wall is up. These are the cutouts for the bed. Okay, that's where I gain an extra, 2 to 2.5 inches per side. So I'll do that side and the other side. And then I started doing the door. This is a fully framed out door situation. And I know it looks crazy in the insulations at top here. I gotta insulate the rest here and down here, but I'm gonna panel this out and insulate it tomorrow. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. And why did I do all of this craziness over here? This is the frame for the window. And what I'll do is I'll put a panel up, and then I'll put a router in with a certain bit, and I'll be able to router out where the window is, and then I'll make, a frame for the window, a finished frame, I should say. And then this is because of the lock down here. I needed access to the lock, so I needed to build a little cutout for that. But because of the dramatic curve of the Econoline, I had to do this in several different pieces. So it kind of stinks because the finish work is going to be really difficult. I'm gonna have to putty that and then sand it and then putty it again and then sand it. And it's gonna be a lot of putty work and sanding, but with that, it's gonna be looking pristine when it's done because of the amount of putty and sanding that I do, because I still have to do this wall, I have to do the door, and I have to do the whole ceiling, which I've changed my mind about like 4 times since the start of this build. But I'm really kind of set and happy with what I'm going to be doing. The showpiece is going to be actually on the walls, not so much the ceiling, which normally in the past I did really cool ceiling designs. This one is actually going to be more on the walls. You'll see when I do that. I know a lot of you guys have been saying, I can't wait to see when it's done. Listen, I can't wait to see when this thing is done either. I'm super excited about it. And the more and more I've been doing, the more and more I get excited. Oh, I did get my floor today. I got a heater, which I will show you guys later on. I did get the heater from Expedition Upfitter, which I am super excited about, and I plan on doing a review video on it, and I'll show it being installed. So let's pick this up later on in whenever I get more done. All right, so guys, we are at a point in the video where I am going to stop at this part of the build. I need to be better with keeping track on where the heck I am in this build, because I want to make sure that I'm not repeating myself, or I'm not wasting everybody's time, or I'm not skipping very much needed steps. So this video, I apologize if it is kind of way off. Actually, this is a good spot for me to kind of talk about. My mind has been in 19 different places because during this part of the build, I'm thinking 40 steps ahead. And that's because you're trying to figure out where things are going to be wiring wise, and where the walls are going to be coming up, and how the cabinetry is going to be laid out, and the bed, and all of that stuff is, you know, very intricate to how I do my walls. And then like my finishes have a lot to do with also the walls. So I've been thinking a lot about that during this process. So I haven't been whipping out the time lapse as much or anything like that. So let me catch you guys up on what's going on. Haven't really talked to you guys about design and really what I'm doing, maybe because the only reason I haven't talked about it is because I don't want it to sound crazy or stupid, or I don't really need to hear, you know, that's not going to work or whatever it is. Like, I know what's going to work and I know it's not. So I will run it past you guys, or I will just tell you guys what I'm doing. This is the sliding door that I've done the top half of the paneling. I still have to do the bottom half. The reason I haven't done the bottom half is because the panel for the sliding door was such a pain in the butt. The walls will all be painted black. And I know that sounds like, Jarrod, you're gonna feel like a cave. Okay, no, I'm doing maple finishes with a black underneath it. So they're gonna be painted a flat black, and there's gonna be maple slats. And this entire wall is going to be slatted with maple. So it's going to be like little pieces of maple, not pieces, but like long strips of maple with gaps. And each gap is going to have the black in there. Yeah, some of you guys may be like, oh, you got that idea from Quinn, Ever Changing Horizon. I did a tour with him over almost 2 years ago. I didn't take the idea from him, nor did he come up with the idea, everybody. He even said it in the video. It's a Japanese inspired type of build. It's very zen feeling. It's a very like calming feeling of that look that I'm going for. There's a reason for all of this. And then on this side, it will be a slatted wall all the way up to where the bed starts, which is right here. This right here. I know there's supposed to be a wall there. I get it, but we'll talk about that. And then the slats will actually come out, and there'll be a floating kind of art piece here. And then the lighting, there won't be any ceiling lights whatsoever. All the lighting will be on the top two slats on both sides, and it'll be indirect, and that'll be on a dimmer. And then the other set of lighting I'll have underneath the counters, also like inset, so you won't see any lights at all. You'll only see the switches. And then I'll have two reading lights here in the back for the bed. And then, you know, I'm going to do something really cool for the Lagoon table mount. I guess I'll save that as a surprise for everybody. And then the ceiling is going to be a maple finish, also a slatted look, where the maple's going to be a lot bigger than the maple on the walls. It'll be like a tongue and groove style, but I'll explain the ceiling a little bit better when I get to it. When you use the wool, it's very important to actually have it breathe a little bit. So when the panel's here, it's not like pressing up against it super duper hard. And you want that wool to breathe. You want like Thinsulate, you want that to breathe. That's your air gap, right? On the other side of that, I have either the Frost King or the Kill Mat, and that acts as your thermal break. Insulation, if I had a little bit more room, I might throw up another insulator in there, but I really don't have that much room, so I really couldn't do that much. This will be a very well insulated van though. I got this automotive carpet or automotive like fabric that's really good, and I'm going to use that as like places like down there. Now that's underneath the cabinet, you're not going to see it anyways, but that black fabric will actually coat over that, so all the yellow in here will be covered. I don't know if you can see that, but maybe I'll zoom in over there where my lock cutout is for the door. That's all yellow in there. I'm either going to spray it, or I'll probably use that carpet as well. So what's really interesting with this is I said I wasn't going to spend that much like budget wise, I'm trying to stay under a good budget. I still think at the end of the day, when I add everything up, I should still be products, materials, all that stuff. I should be between $6,000 to $7,500, $6,000 to $7,500. And that's a pretty good build. We'll do a full price breakdown when this is done. But my point is you can have a really, really nice van with really high-end finishes, which I plan on having, under a $10,000 bill. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how much everything did cost. But now I'm not judging anybody. I'm not hating on anybody if they went out and spent $50,000. Hello, I did that on my second van. And I'm not hating on anybody that spent $500 on an air mattress and a pad and, you know, a jackery. Like I'm not hating on anybody for doing that. So to each their own is my point. Finally feel that the van is coming together. You reach a point where you're like, oh God, this is so tedious. This is so annoying. This is so grunt worky, but it's all coming together and I'm starting to see walls. Obviously this wall is going to be finished by tomorrow. And then I'm going to start on the ceiling. I'm going to start painting. And then the floor is going to go in. I bought the flooring, which is really nice. So it's like all of it is going to start coming together over the next week to 10 days. And then I can start building my cabinetry, which is really when it's going to start to come together. You guys will start to see this. You are now caught up with me. I release this on I release all my vlogs on Sundays. And guess what? Like I'm recording this part of the video on Friday. So you are literally caught up to me. I am planning on selling this, and I am on plan on doing another one right after. If I had to guess what the price tag is going to be on this, when it's all said and done, it's probably going to be in the high 20s. I'll probably list it for about 28, 29. I have to think about that a little bit more, but I think that is good price. I'm not making a whole boatload of money on this, and whoever does get it is going to get a fine van out of it. Find another van to do. And then once I get my other van, I'll then put this one up for sale. If you are interested in this, by all means, you can shoot me an email at info@jarrodtocci.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram as well at jarrodtocci. But this is right here at the beginning. I'm really excited. I'm probably going to do either the same floor plan or maybe one different one. I have a different floor plan in mind, but we'll see what happens when I get there. I don't know. My crazy mind goes in crazy places. So see you guys next time. All right, later.